On OC News, President Trump addresses a joint session of Congress.
Disney to lay off ABC News employees.
Cal State Fullerton softball with a huge upset victory.
Coming next on OC News.
This just in tech news. The first responder on the
There's been a lot of collaborative efforts
feel
over the
blessed to be here in Fullerton.
Brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
OC News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to another edition of OC News. I'm Guadalupe Caballero.
And I'm Alex Heitman. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students of Cal State Fullerton.
President Donald Trump addressed Congress last night with the longest speech in modern-day history. The president covered his vision for Congress by implementing his legislative agenda and previous signed executive orders in nearly 100 minutes. Trump praised the Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, and Elon Musk, who has been the face of the program. Although the speech was applauded by Republicans, and Democratic representative was escorted out. Representative Al Green of Texas shouted and protested when the president spoke about his victory in the 2024 election before being removed from Congress chamber. President Trump concluded his remarks by stating, quote, "The golden age of America has only just begun," end of quote.
On Tuesday, a former LA fire chief attended a city council meeting with the hope of getting her job back. The Los Angeles City Council voted to reject former fire chief Kristen Crowley's appeal to reinstate her job. The former head of the nation's largest fire department was terminated following the devastating Palisades fire. A 13-2 vote fell Crowley short of the 10 votes necessary to regain her position. Crowley will continue to work for the LA Fire Department in a lower rank, covering the San Fernando Valley. Crowley's career will remain as an assistant chief of the Operation Valley Bureau. Drug addiction is an epidemic that has stifled the United States. I went to an on-campus event that helps students learn what to do in the case of an emergency.
Around 89,000 people fell victim to an opioid overdose in 2024. Although this was a large decrease from the previous year, it is still a looming issue in the United States, and the campus is offering many resources to help.
Just like getting the word out there, educating people can definitely help millions of people who are like going through like an overdose situation and can help save their lives and, reduce that statistic.
Since February 4th, Titan Health has held occasional pop-up booths that help students become familiar with overdoses and how students can make a difference in someone's life in the case of an emergency.
If you can help save a life, that's all that matters. I mean, this is just a small portion of my day, but I can make a big impact with this.
Getting your kit is quick and easy. In order to get your kit, it takes 3 simple steps. First, scan the barcode on the table, then watch the 4-minute YouTube video, and finally, complete one small quiz.
I would say it's pretty beneficial for students just because I know people think that, like opioid overdose, like I don't do drugs, like I don't need it, but overdoses can happen anywhere.
With this naloxone kit, you could save a life. If you recognize early signs of an overdose, it is important to use this nasal spray to help reverse the signs of an opioid overdose. If it doesn't work within the first 5 minutes, it is important to use a second spray, but firstly, you should always contact emergency services by calling 911.
It took me maybe like 10 minutes, and it could have a countless impact just from the small time.
Titan Health will be holding these events sporadically throughout the rest of the semester. For future dates or any other information, go to the CSUF Titanwell website. I'm Alex Heitman with OC News.
Coming up after the break, we have the latest story diving into the heated opinions surrounding this year's Oscars.
And we'll take a look at the heartbreaking film Honora, which swept the Oscars with the awards as we cover entertainment.
Be sure to stay tuned.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
What does it take to discover the greatness within you? It takes resilience.
When I first got to Cal State Fullerton, I felt lost. Then I found my community. It was like a caring family cheering me on.
I wasn't sure about being a chemist. My professor showed me I could. People believed in me here, and I learned to believe in myself. Discover the resilience within you at Cal State Fullerton.
Award season is now coming to an end. For a recap of the past week, here is Andrea Restrepo with more.
Good. A lot has been going on this week. Let's dive in and find out more about today's entertainment world. Carl Dean, Dolly Parton's husband of nearly 60 years, has passed away at age 82. The family has asked for respect and privacy during this time. No cause of death has been announced. He will be laid to rest in a private ceremony with immediate family attending. Dean, who avoided the spotlight, had inspired her timeless hit, Jolene. Dolly Parton wrote in a statement, quote, "Carl and I spent many wonderful years together. Words can't do justice to the love we shared for over 60 years. Thank you for your prayers and sympathy," end quote. The film Anora was nominated for 6 Oscars. They dominated the Academy Awards and took home 5 out of the 6 awards. The film Anora won 5 Oscars at the 97th Academy Awards on Sunday. Mikey Madison, who had been expected to lose the award to the Substance star Demi Moore, won the Oscar for Best Actress for her role in Anora. The film also took home an award for Best Picture. However, having earned $40 million globally, Anora also ranks as one of the lowest-grossing Best Picture winners in history. Most of the movies the Oscar honored this year were made by independent producers and companies. The Oscars dress code was broken this past Sunday at the 97th Academy Awards by Adam Sandler, who opted in for a more comfortable attire. Adam Sandler was mocked by host Conan O'Brien for casual Oscars attire. Sandler settled for a Hawaiian button-up shirt, a blue zip-up hoodie, and basketball shorts. He liked how he looked and stated that no one cared how he was dressed until it was mentioned in front of all of his peers. That's all we have for today's entertainment news. Now back to Alex at the desk.
The Oscars took place this past Sunday, but despite the glitz and glamour, few people seem to be tuning in. Guadalupe Caballero has more on the story.
And the Oscar goes to... And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
These are the words we often hear in the most prestigious award show in Hollywood. For decades, it's been a gold standard for recognizing excellence in a film. But as the landscape of entertainment continues to evolve, so does the question, does the Oscars still hold any merit in today's world? 2025, around 18.1 million Americans watched the Academy Awards ceremony. Oscars viewership fluctuates year by year. However, the last time the ceremony drew in a U.S. audience of more than 40 million was back in 2014. With the Oscars airing this past Sunday, let's see what students here at Cal State Fullerton have to say.
Didn't watch the Oscars. I think it could matter to some people if they're trophy chasers or something like that, but I think a lot of good films don't win anything too. Doesn't mean they're not a good film just because they don't win anything.
Anora won a good few. I just know for the most part that a lot of people are upset about Wicked being snubbed, but that's most of where my knowledge ends.
I don't think it's losing that much of an impact just because of social media. I know especially on Twitter or X, the Oscars is a highly tweeted about thing, so I don't think it's losing that much of an impact just yet.
Opinions on the Oscars are divided. While many continue to view the award as an honor, others still question its relevancy. Ultimately, only time will tell whether the Oscars can adapt to the changing landscape and maintain prestige. I am Guadalupe Caballero, reporting for OC News. While Target was once synonymous with daily deals, recent tariffs on Canada and Mexico may quickly change shoppers' opinions on consumer value. Shoppers at Target might get priced due to Donald Trump's tariff on Mexico, Canada, and China. Target's CEO Brian Cornell announced to investigators at an annual meeting that the price of certain goods will rise as early as a few days. The price hike for Target shelves remains unclear, but produce will be impacted. Cornell said that the company relies heavily on Mexican produce during the winter months. Avocados, strawberries, and vegetables are items that will increase. Still ahead, we have the latest news on the 2026 World Cup final.
And Disneyland prices continue to increase, impacting the opinions fans have on their favorite theme park.
Find out more coming up next.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Sports news has dominated the headlines this week, and the Titans have been dominating on the diamond. Here's Peter Gibbs with more.
Thanks, Alex. Hello, sports fans. I've got a lot to update you on for the world of sports. Let's get started. In one of the biggest softball tournaments of the year, the CSUF softball team took on some of the best competition in the country as they hosted the Judy Garman Classic this past weekend. They took on number 6 ranked LSU to start off the season. And in that first game, you had redshirt sophomore Trisha McCleskey taking the circle for the Titans. She was looking to bounce back after a rough outing against Utah. She ended up tossing a scoreless first inning, and then as she moved on throughout the game, kind of struggled in that second inning. In the second, you had Sierra Daniel take one right back up the middle as she ended up getting the first run scored for the Tigers, hitting one right off the wall as you see there, and pulling her way into second base to get her Tigers on the board early on. But for the Titans, they ended up playing a little bit of small ball as shortstop Sarah Perez and right fielder Natalie Lozano drew RBI walks to even the score at 2. But then it came down to the first baseman Ava Arce, who ended up stepping into the box and lining one up the middle to center field, driving in 2 more Titans to give Fullerton the 4-2 lead. Fullerton ended up giving themselves a little bit of padding early on in the next couple innings, and then Sarah Perez and Trisha McCleskey ends up getting out of the jam in the 6th inning on her 121st pitch of the game, ends up giving her team the 6-5 lead heading into the final frame, and then the Fullerton Titans closed it out to get their upset victory against the number 6 ranked team in the country. Football will meet football in the 2026 World Cup when matches take place in NFL stadiums such as SoFi and Allegiant Stadium, and soccer fans across the globe will be introduced to one of America's biggest events once the final game reaches halftime. The 2026 Men's World Cup final will be historic regardless of which teams make it. For the first time since its debut in 1930, the legendary event will have a halftime show. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said British band Coldplay is among those who will help produce the performance. No word yet on if Coldplay, who previously performed at a Super Bowl halftime show, will take the stage. The United States, Canada, and Mexico are co-hosting next year's tournament. That's all from me today. Back to you at the desk.
Planning your summer trip to Disneyland is about to get a lot more expensive. Daniel Tanico has the latest on Disney's new prices.
Disneyland isn't making people very happy lately, especially in their wallets. Tickets, passes, and other essentials keep increasing, and there appears to be no end in sight.
I can't even afford to go in there and buy myself a simple candied apple, which my mom loves. And I remember as me being younger, going with my family and all, we used to always buy that caramel apple, and now it's like $10, $12 now.
Park attendance did see a rise of about 2.2% following the pandemic. However, a Wall Street Journal survey found that 59% of families who recently visited Disneyland would not come back due to the high costs.
Disney used to be an affordable luxury for the whole family. However, over the last 10 years, ticket prices have almost doubled, with park hoppers being over $139, going all the way up to $225 depending on the day. Disney employee Izzy Kachajian has this to say about the park increases.
Being as high as they are now just makes it a little unfair whether you're a cast member or not, or a previous one, because when it comes to the actual park days, those tickets jump up to over like $150, and then for park hoppers it's double that. And then it doesn't mention the parking money. It's like about $40 for like a weekend and $35 for a weekday. Food and beverages as well, like that spikes up to at least like $15 a meal. And if you're a larger family or like a bigger party, then it's almost impossible to like enjoy your day without completely emptying your wallets.
Although cast members do have a small discount off food and merchandise, price increases will only continue to make their discount obsolete and make it harder for them to enjoy their time with their family at the parks. This is Daniel Tinoco with OC News.
Well, it looks like my girlfriend isn't even getting any more Mickey ears soon.
I'm actually going this Friday, so I'll be a witness to those Disney insane prices.
Well, that's all we have for you guys today. I'm Alex Heitman. Follow us on social media at OC News CSUF.
And I'm Guadalupe Caballero. See you next time.